Just live. Dun, 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 dun. 15 people. Hi, guys. We're live. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. We're trying some new things to try to make sure we don't lose you all. God. Technology and I are not the best of buds. Anyway, we're live. And I'm just going to say right now, and I'll say it again when it's actually 5 o'clock, if we should lose this connection, have a lovely night. We're not going to try to come back on. We're trying to resolve our issue, which is that we have a modem on the 3rd floor of our lovely little row home. And between the thick walls and the high ceilings, the internet doesn't get down to the kitchen. So we thought we had a cable hookup fixed, but my computer doesn't have the thingamajig that the cable needs to hook into. So we're trying something else by next month. So there we are. So here we are. So as soon as it is 5 o'clock, we'll get going. We have a lot to do. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. And I'm very excited to share some things with you. And so we'll wait. We have 3 minutes. We'll just give it a wait. Which espresso machine do I use? Depends on the day. If I am making a mocha, I use a Bialetti stainless steel mocha that is made for both a gas stove, electric stove, and a induction. For the day that I change to induction, which who knows when that will be. But I also have a machine that you can tamp down into by what's the name of it? DeLonghi, by DeLonghi. And I, tamp my coffee, stir it, twist it in and do it that way. So I have 2. I confess that I love my mocha. I love my other machine, my DeLonghi, but I love coffee from a mocha. So, hi, Michelle and Denise. Are you together?
No.
No, it says hi. It's Michelle and Denise. So I'm guessing they're together. Okay. So here we are. You showed a red one in the first video. Probably it was either this Bialetti mocha, which was a gift. It's a Dolce & Gabbana. Hello. And it's a 4-cupper. And then I have this little Bialetti, 1 cup. I mean, literally 1 cup. And the one I just showed you now is a hearty 2 cup. So that might be the red one. Hi, California. How are you? Nice to see you.
Also your first one.
And this is my very first mocha of all time, which actually doesn't work anymore. It leaks out the screw in the back. So it's just for show now. So there you go. Okay, so let's get going. We have a lot to do. So I thought today we would do, it's actually going to feel kind of extreme what we're doing. We are talking about cookie baking and how to do this. Hi, South Philly. Devin and Carrie Ann, do I know you? Anyway, do I know you? Keep typing. Anyway, we're going to make cookies. I'm going to teach you my secrets to cookie baking. And then we're going to make a classic macrobiotic dish to help keep you warm, unless you live in Florida. Although it does get cold there. Keep you warm all winter long. And it's a classic, simple 2-ingredient dish. That's it. You can jazz it up, but the classic is a classic for a reason. So we're going to do both. We're going to start with cookies. So people ask me all the time about baking cookies, and I have converted most of the cookie recipes I made as a pastry chef into healthier vegan. And for a long time, I was using Earth Balance. Hi, Texas. How are you? Hi, Donna Marie. I used Earth Balance vegan butter because that was kind of what we really had. It's not the best quality. If it's what you can get, it's what you can get. It's certainly better than the saturated fat of butter. But if you can get something better, get something better. Then I fell in love with, there's BioLife, which I really like. There's a new brand out on the market. I don't know if it's new, kind of new for me. Hi, Montreal. Kind of new for me, called Monty's. and they sell it in these big, long, sort of like logs that you slice the butter, the vegan butter. It's made from almond oil, coconut oil, cashew oil, and an emulsifier. But it's $20 a pound. So Miyoko's is good too. You're right. Miyoko's is good. I don't love how it bakes. That's just me. So what I did was I've converted almost all my cookie recipes to olive oil, which is a wonderful thing. Or you can use avocado, but I'm kind of olive oil obsessed. But I also fell in love with this from Trader Joe's, which is a dairy-free buttery spread, has fava bean and a little bit of coconut. Dave stopped making it. This is my last one, and I have no idea what I'm going to do now except bake with olive oil. So we're going to start with my cookie base. So your cookie base is going to be whatever vegan butter floats your boat, and that's what you're going to use to start. And so I kind of bake in two ways. I do cups, and I also do grams, where I weigh all of my ingredients, which is much more efficient, but much more necessary to have a baking scale if you have if you're baking a cake or something that's more precise. Cookies are really forgiving, which is why we're starting with cookies. And honestly, at Christmas time, I don't think there's anything lovelier or cooler than getting a tin of cookies from somebody that you know. Somebody just yesterday gave me a tin of chocolate chip tahini cookies. I was so happy that somebody baked for me. It was like the coolest thing in the world. So you can bake for somebody that you love. So the first recipe is this base that we're going to make is the base you can use to make 5 different cookies. This base will make chocolate chip, double chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, peanut butter, and like a Sicilian fruit or some kind of a fruit and nut cookie. It's the perfect base. You can even do a double chocolate by adjusting your flour just a touch. Okay. But in this case, because my butter is a brick and not sticks, I'm going to have to weigh it. So I figured out that 8 tablespoons, which is your measure, is 113 grams. So I have my baking scale out, 2 grams, and we're going to weigh out 113 grams. Oh, babe, can you turn the oven on?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty precise when it comes to like fats, because if you put too much or you think you want it to be quote unquote richer, what you're going to end up with is a cookie that tastes oily. And we've all had those cookies that taste oily. Sorry, I'm looking away from you because I'm measuring to 113 grams. The one thing I don't love about this particular Trader Joe's vegan butter, and it's probably the reason that it got discontinued, is that it never really gets soft. Like when you bake, you need room temperature soft butter. And this one sort of gets semi-soft, moderately soft, something like that. So I'm going to I use a stand mixer too. This is my stand mixer right here. She even has a name. I'm going to tip my screen so you can see what I'm doing a little better. Her name is Sophia, of course. So this stand mixer works so hard that I had to replace the bowl because I wore off the little dents that hold it in place. And I wore off the dents on the little plate that holds the bowl in place. So I bake a lot. All right. So in goes our butter substitute. If you're using oil, use the same amount. What you'll find if you make a chocolate chip cookie with oil is that they don't last as well. They get really soft. You can try baking them a minute or 2 more. Hang on, I have a question from Martha in Virginia. Can't wait for the Florence trip. Yeah, hello. Should I be concerned about EMFs from an induction stove? I need to replace my stove. I don't know. Should you worry? I mean, it is electric, at the end of the day. They say it's safer than gas. You're going to all yell at me for this, but I'm a committed gas stove person. I run an exhaust fan. I don't know. And I have worked on induction, and I'll be honest and tell you, I hate it. But it could be just be me. So I don't think there's a concern with EMFs because they don't vibrate. Like you don't like feel it. Not that you feel EMFs. Anybody have any ideas about that? If you do, give me a yell. Okay. So, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Trying not to. No, trying not to. Okay. I'm not. So the second thing to go into our base, this is just the base, is 1/4 cup of brown rice syrup. You can see I buy only small amounts of brown rice syrup. This is the maple scented one, maple rice nectar. And it's what I use to bake with because it gives me an extra sensation of sweetness, although there is no maple syrup in it. It's just cooked with fenugreek and gives you that little boost of sweetness. And you can buy jars if you don't bake a lot. If you bake a lot, buy the gallon because the jars are going to give you about a batch and a half of cookies. That's it. If you buy the gallon, it doesn't go bad. Keep it someplace cool, not in the fridge, but keep it someplace cool, and it lasts for a couple of years. So the next thing to go in is 6 tablespoons of coconut sugar. I buy everything in bulk because I do have an online bakery that does specials, so nothing's in packages.
Hefty tablespoon.
I was just going to say,
make you lose count.
6 carefully measured. It's probably, if you're going to carefully measure, it's probably closer to 7, 6.5. But it's not going to affect your it's not going to affect your outcome. So don't worry about that. The next thing to go in will be a pinch of sea salt. You can use whatever sea salt you like. Sea salt's very sweet. You're going to use about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I use a French sea salt from my friend Patrick Barret, but you can use whatever sea salt floats your boat. Then I use one of 3 things: an alcohol-free vanilla, regular vanilla that has alcohol in it, or vanilla paste. You decide. Vanilla paste and vanilla without alcohol, you use less. Regular vanilla, you're going to need to use a full teaspoon in a cookie like this, unless you really like vanilla, and then, So that's going to go in. Then the next thing to go in will be cinnamon. And you can use ground cinnamon in a jar. I buy cinnamon sticks and grind it with my Phenomill. And when I first got the Phenomill, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was like, whatever, it's another gadget. I'm so in love with this thing. I grind nutmeg, I grind peppercorns, I grind anything, and I use less cinnamon. You should smell my kitchen right now. It smells heavenly. And cinnamon is not only great in cookies, it's good for helping to balance blood sugar, which is why I put it into so many desserts. If you're on their website at all looking at recipes. Hang on, let me see if I have any questions. Oh, you sea salt. You don't get iodine. You don't get iodine with sea salt unless it's iodized. So,
We eat some vegetables in our
but we eat sea vegetables in our diet to get iodine. So things like kombu will give you that. Wakame and miso soup. So I don't really worry about iodine. If you don't eat any sea veg, then you might want to use an iodized sea salt. If you're sensitive to gas, then induction is the way to go, or electric, whatever you're going to use. So this is going to go into my mixer. I have the paddle on. Make sure you always lock your mixer. Lock it down. And we're going to let this whip until the butter is creamy and blended well with the sugar on like the second to lowest speed. Hi, Elisa. Hi, how are you? All right, so that's going to mix, and then we'll start getting involved with the leavener, the flour, and all of that. While that's whipping, the other cookie that I'm not going to show you how to make today because we were debating which 2 cookie bases to show you. The other one is for biscotti. And Biscotti are a lot more work. Most people don't love to make them because they take a lot of time. Most of that time is oven time, but still, you have to form the loaves, you have to cut them, da 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 da. So when I make biscotti, it's that exact same base, except instead of 8 tablespoons of vegan butter, it's 8 tablespoons of olive oil. The second change is 1/2 teaspoon for a batch of biscotti, which yields about 3 dozen. I use chia seed that have been finely ground in a coffee bean grinder, and that's my egg binder. And the third thing that I use is 2 tablespoons of arrowroot that give my biscotti the crunchy, crisp texture that everyone that eats them loves so much. Okay? So that's the only changes between the base I'm making now and the base that I use for my biscotti. So, but they're pretty essential differences. So if you're going to make the biscotti, make those changes. I had a student the other day. She wanted to make my biscotti. Does your recipe work, chef? Yeah, works. So she makes this dough, and I'm thinking, I don't know what you did. I said, I don't know what you did, but this is not it. And she said, well, I made your recipe, except I changed da 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 da. So you didn't make my recipe? No. Okay. Voila, as we say. Okay. So you will also need a spatula, because if you're only making a single batch, sometimes you have to go in and scrape down the sides of the bowl and then go in and whip again. Can you do this by hand? You can. You really can. You don't need a mixer. You don't need a hand mixer. When I first started baking, even commercially, to do orders, I was using, the hand mixer like your mother had with the 2 beaters on the bottom to do dozens and dozens and dozens. But now I'm spoiled. Sophia is like, I love her. Am I offering biscotti for sale this year? I'm not. I'm just too busy. I have 2 courses going at the university. I have, we're getting ready to film again in January. I would love to. I just can't this year. I know. She's got a sad face. Michelle.
Maybe Valentine's Day.
Maybe Valentine's Day, right. So after your butter is, I hope you can see this, whippy. You can see it. I was like, no, it's not, it's well blended. Next we'll go in 1/2 teaspoon each baking powder and soda. I know some people don't use both. I use both to give a nice lift to my cookies. Huh?
You need me to do something? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will.
Okay, so that goes in. Okay. Then I use sprouted whole wheat flour. I know this is a Dolce & Gabbana panettone tin. I brought this panettone to friends of mine last Christmas, and they said, oh, this is so nice, a panettone. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking the tin. You can have the cake. I'm taking the tin. Because I buy flour in 25-pound bags, so I need a place to store flour. When I make a cake, I have started sifting. It makes my cake lighter. They rise better since we don't use eggs. When I make cookies, I am not that accurate. I don't sift. Okay. That's okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Michelle. Go get them. I just want to tell you how much I have enjoyed you over the year. Oh, thank you. And I appreciate it. Thank you. I started watching when you were first on PBS. Oh, I'm so glad you didn't say, I've been watching you since I was a kid. And I'll tell you why. I met, it was Marianne Esposito, who is Ciao Italia. She is literally the longest running cooking show on public television.
You.
No. Marianne's been on longer than me.
And you've been on.
I'm the longest running vegan show, actually the only vegan show. And I walked up and I said, oh my God, Marianne, I have been watching. And she said, if you say since you were a kid, I'm going to slap the shit out of you right here. And I said, For a while. I've been watching you, for a while now. We're the same age. Okay, good. All right, so now I'm putting in 1.5 cups of flour. I just I don't do that thing where you flatten the flour across the cup. That's okay with white flour. It's not so good with whole grain flour. It doesn't work. When you pack down whole grain flour by scraping a knife across the top, that little bit of a pack down gives you a dense, tough cookie. So, and it's okay to be a tough cookie, but you don't want to eat a tough cookie. So you just kind of jiggle it around till you've got a hearty cup and a half. I use a half cup measure for everything. When I'm making like a billion dozen, I'm measuring in a half cup. I know. It's just how I stay accurate. Marianne lives close. Have you been in her? I have not been in her kitchen, and she lives across the street from my husband's cousin. So, yeah. And she's great. I love her. I've done a bunch of events with her when she had Mohegan Sun as a sponsor. We laughed so hard doing those events. Okay, so now everything's in here for the cookie. Lock it down again. And I know people have those plastic guard things that they put over their KitchenAid or stand-up mixer. I hate them. I hate it. I have one. I hate it. I just put a towel over it, give it a mix, and we go from there. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you while that's mixing, don't overmix. Let it mix. And as soon as you think the flour is no longer flying around, so it's all over your kitchen, which is not yet, you want to take the towel off so you cannot overmix it. The other thing I'm going to tell you is in a chocolate chip cookie, because that's what we're making is chocolate chip, you can use chocolate chips, of course. You can also use a chopped dark chocolate bar. There's a difference. Chocolate chips are designed by the manufacturer to keep their shape so they look like chocolate chips. Chocolate bars melt. I tend to use both, but I use bars if I'm going to melt the chocolate. I also use bars if I want that sort of melty, chocolatey thing in my cookie, then I'll use bars. So it depends on what I'm doing. So I always have both. Okay. Now take a good look. No, you can't. So, okay, I'll bring it over. I'm terrified to move the computer because of, technical difficulties. No, I'm good. So this is the texture of your dough. It's stiff, right? You can lift it up. This is a great cookie dough. Great cookie dough. Okay. So to finish this cookie off, always make sure your bowl is locked in or you'll be incredibly sorry. We are using pecans. You can use walnuts, you can use pistachios, you can use hazelnuts, whatever floats your boat. These are pecan halves. So I'm going to quickly give them a coarse chop. You can use them as they are, but sometimes they can make your cookies feel like too heavy because the nut chunks are too big. So it's just going to be a quick, see if I can not screw it up by letting you see this part. It's nothing too accurate. It doesn't have to be. You just don't want any big unwieldy pieces in your, and if you have a nut chopper, you can use that too. I used to have one, but I currently can't find it. So I must not have used it much, so it doesn't, yeah. So since I'm usually not working with my mixer behind me, it's usually right next to me. So I'm lifting the nuts up with a scraper. And then we're at this is more than a half cup, but I'm going to use this for another recipe I'm showing you. A half cup of chopped chocolate or a heavy half cup of chocolate chips. So that was about a half cup of pecans. Well, I did use almost all of it. I'll just chop some more chocolate. Okay, now you're going to go in. Now, many people who make cookies, at this point, they fold in the nuts and the chocolate. They don't use the mixer anymore. I don't know why. It's not like the mixer's going to beat anything up. Just use it. Finish it off. So this is a quick mix. Voila. Then you go in with your spatula. Clean off your mixer, your paddle. I use the paddle for this, by the way, not the whisk attachment. I use the paddle. And I'm not cleaning it because the second cookie batter I make is also going to be in here. And then I go in and I just give it a quick fold to make sure that nothing sank to the bottom, that there's no flour in the bottom. Particularly with, if you make biscotti, I'm talking to you, Michelle and Denise. If you make biscotti, this part's essential, this step, even if you mix everything together. What you'll find with biscotti is there's always nuts and chocolate that sink to the bottom. So you're going to have to figure out a way to fold them in so you don't have a lot of dry stuff in the bottom and your cookies are not mixed well.
What if you're going to make another kind of cookie?
What?
What if you're going to use this before you base? If it's a base and you're going to make peanut butter cookies or oatmeal raisin cookies, or
What's your question, sir?
how do you modify this?
I have a student in my kitchen asking me a question.
Well, I'm
Yes,
curious,
sir.
how do you modify for other kinds of cookies?
Well,
The
you
base
mix.
is-
Oh,
So the base is before you add the chocolate.
the
and,
base is before you add chocolate and nuts.
Nuts.
If you're making peanut butter, you use 2 tablespoons less of vegan butter or oil, because that's peanut butter is also a fat. If you add dark cocoa or cocoa powder, I like this one. And I also use a brand called Anthony's, which makes a black cocoa powder. I don't have any right now. I don't think I do. Do I? I do. I use a thing called Anthony's Organic, and it's a black cocoa powder. It's 100% cocoa with a 10 to 12% fat content, and it's extremely dark, and it's extremely bitter, and you can't use it alone. So I usually use half of dark cocoa and half of black cocoa. So if I'm going to make dark chocolate cookies, it would be 1/4 cup of my flour would be 2 tablespoons of dark cocoa and 2 tablespoons of black cocoa. So that's how you would adjust for that. And the fruit and nut ones, you just
Oatmeal raisin?
oatmeal raisin. I don't change anything. I just add the oatmeal. It doesn't, I don't have to change the flour amount or anything. So then for evenness,
Even less.
do you have the sheet pans?
I will get you some idea.
So when you're here they are. When you're making cookies, you want them even, right? You don't have to be. Great question, Robert. Somebody's brown nosing you, Robert. Somebody's brown nosing you, Robert. Let me see if I'm missing any questions. So funny. I love Marilyn. I love Marion. She lives close by. Okay, I'm trying not to miss any questions. What utensil are you using? Oh, it does look like a paint stirrer, but it's a spatula. Somebody gave it to me because I love to paint, like house paint. So somebody gave me that spatula. So I do love it. Okay, so if you want your cookies to be even and bake even and have a nice even brownness and even textures and not some bigger, some smaller, which looks chaotic on your sheet pan and is not a beautiful result, I'm going to lower the screen again. You use an ice cream scoop. This is I think it's a 1 tablespoon. And you pull the dough out and you just drop them on the pan. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to have Robert take this over so I can show you the second cookie base. And but I want to make sure that he knows what I want to do because Robert's not the cookie baker in the house. Not that he's not a good cook and a great baker, but when I make my cookies, these are chocolate chip. I do not flatten them when they go in the oven. I flatten them when they come out, which you'll see because it makes for a chewier, softer on the inside, crunchy on the edges cookie. and they come out all kind of poofy, but you have to allow space. Like there's 2 inches between each cookie. So I usually do 4 across and 6 down. So I do 2 dozen on a tray. And the dough is stiff, so they're not going to spread. You have to make sure that your dough is not too wet. If your dough is really wet, your cookies are going to spread out. And I'm not sure this is a bad thing, but what you'll end up is with a baking sheet with 1 giant cookie on it, which maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know. Okay. So can you see like this? And then we're going to fill the tray. 4 across, 6 down. And Robert's going to do that and put them in the oven now.
And what did Robert make you for lunch today?
Robert made pizza dough and I made stuffed pizzas. I know. He's always got to brag that he makes great pizza dough because he makes great pizza dough. Okay. So, if you want the cookies to be chewy, you bake them for 13 minutes. If you want them to have a crunchier edge, you bake them for 14 minutes. If you want them ruined, bake them for 15 minutes. Okay. So, 13 degrees in Madison, Wisconsin. Well, the TV show will run in Wisconsin. Just saying. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to make our second. Oh, no, hon, I need you to put the dough. Give that to me, please. The bowl. Because I need to make another dough. So I'm going to take the rest of my cookie dough and put it into a bowl so Robert can get them into the oven. And I can use this bowl to make another cookie, which it's not very different. I mean, it's different, certainly. But it's not so different that I need to wash my bowl. I usually just go and use the bowl again. So this cookie is going to be, okay. Where did I put that vegan butter?
There it is.
I need 76 grams or 5 tablespoons of vegan butter. This is baci di dama dough, which everybody loves. What's the wording on my apron? Oh, it's Pasta di Martino, a pasta company from Italy. So what I'm using is more vegan butter. I need 76 grams or 5 tablespoons. If you can find a vegan butter in stick form, which Earth Balance is, I don't know if Miyoko's is measured like that, but if you can find it in stick form, a stick is 8 tablespoons, and then you can figure out the rest right when you do it. So this baci di dama dough, I love these cookies. First of all, I love them because they are delicious. They're like the yummiest, most wonderful little cookie. And it literally does not matter the order in which you put the ingredients in this bowl and you put it in all together. No messing around. You don't have to worry. Just pop it on in there. So in goes the butter. You'll see how I do it. Do it however you want. In goes the butter. Come on, get in there. Okay. Coconut sugar, 4 tablespoons. Then it has 2 tablespoons of
Should I put these
arrowroot.
Another?
Huh? You can do another tray. Yeah. Then it has 2 tablespoons of arrowroot, and that helps these to hold together. 2 level tablespoons. Then it has, I usually use vanilla paste for this, which is kind of runny and wonderful. Add some sweetness, and it's just, I love vanilla. I'm obsessed with vanilla. You can see there's 4 different kinds in my cabinet. Then it's 1/2 cup.
It's okay. There's only 5 cookies on this tray.
Yeah. 1/2 cup of sprouted whole wheat flour. and 1 cup of almond flour. Okay, you with me so far? All right. A pinch of sea salt.
Does it make difference which goes in the bottom or the top?
Put the lighter tray in the bottom. You could switch them, but we don't have to.
Okay.
Here, hang on.
There you go.
Don't forget that. Monkeys.
Is there a timer? 15 minutes?
Yep, 15 minutes. Okay, cookies are in the oven, and now we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon is the last ingredient in the bocce. Not baking powder. I take it back. It's baking soda.
You rice it?
Whoops. What?
You
Nope.
rice it?
Nope. Whoops. 1/2. I haven't made these in so long. Because in my house, whenever I say, what kind of cookies do you want, honey? He says, biscotti. So, now everything is in here for this cookie. Start it on low. Please start it on low. Because otherwise it's going to lose its mind a little bit. Okay? So that's going to start to mix, and it's going to seem really dry and really powdery. Let it go. The vegan butter will break down, and you'll end up with the dough I'll show you, which is very stiff. There's a question. Do we usually use brown sugar? But I don't know how much. It's a 1-to-1 sub. If you use brown sugar, it's 1-to-1 sub for coconut sugar. And the interesting thing is that coconut sugar tastes like brown sugar. The difference is it's a little bit of a low glycemic index. Listen, sugar is sugar is sugar. At the end of the day, it's how processed, it's glycemic index and that kind of thing. But also remember, low glycemic index, high glycemic index means really nothing, right? The glycemic index was invented for nutritionists and dietitians to help you discover the glycemic load of a food. The problem with it is nobody eats just one food in isolation, right? You don't sit down and eat a bowl of rice all alone. You don't sit down and drink a bowl of brown rice syrup. The minute you add protein and fat to those, the glycemic index changes. So unless you really understand the glycemic index, don't worry about it so much. Things like coconut sugar don't have a high glycemic load, which is why I use it. I haven't eaten cookies in a long time. Now you're getting craving for biscotti. Dude, time to make some cookies. Really, I would die without cookies. Okay, brown sugar. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm all caught up. I just wanted to check some questions. Okay. So my dough looks like wet sand right now. So it's still mixing. So we're going to let it go. And all of a sudden, the dough will come together in a ball and mix around your bowl. It'll be like this giant bowl. Okay. I am going to stop and clean the sides of my bowl down, which I do. Now we'll let this mix again. And I use this dough, by the way, for 2 cookies, both of which I'm going to show you right now. I use them for bocces, and I use them for my thumbprint cookies. I use the exact same dough. I just roll a bigger sphere. That's it. It's the easiest dough. It is the nicest flavor, sweet enough. When the dough is starting to come together, you want to pop up your speed on your mixer just a little bit, yeah? And now we have it. Now, if you're making bocce, which I really hope you do, if you're making bocce, they're teeny tiny, right? So you roll a ball of dough that's about the size of your forefinger, right? The first digit of your forefinger. And you roll it into this little ball like this, lay it on your sheet. They do not expand, so you can make a lot on one baking sheet. For me, having done these for local coffee shops for years, I can get 120 of these little babies on one sheet, which means that's 60. That's 60 kisses. So the cool thing about, because baci means kiss in Italian. You want to make sure they're moderately the same size, right? You don't have to be exact. I'm sure there are bakers out there who weigh them so that each kiss is exactly the same. Nobody wants their kisses to be exactly the same every time. Okay. What? It's true. So we're just rolling these. Okay. So I usually go as many as 10 across. I'm not going to do this whole batch because this will be like watching paint dry in a few minutes. But I am going to do a 2, 4, 6.
I can take over if you want to show a couple of thumbprints.
I am going to show. I don't want to do the whole batch. I'm going to save these.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're going to do a dozen. So we have 6 bacis. And then to make thumbprints, there's 2 ways to do thumbprints. You roll a bigger cookie, first of all. So it's about 3 times the size. I would say it's a tablespoon of dough, right? So you could use the scoop that I just used to make cookies. You see the difference? Big, okay? Wait, there you are. Yeah, okay. So you don't want them ginormous. I'm not a ginormous cookie girl. I like to know that there are a couple of bites, and then I'm very happy with that. So there's 2 ways to do these. One, the actual thumbprint, which you take the cookie, you form it into a sphere, and then you take your thumb, get it, thumbprint, and you make a dent in the cookie. I'm going to make sure they're the same. Okay. You make a dent in the cookie, which I'm going to do 2 that way. So you take your thumb, press it in, take your thumb, press it in, right? You see the little dents here? Okay. The second way to do it is to bake them as they are. And when they come out of the oven, I need 2. When they come out of the oven, or I can cut this one in half, whatever you want to do. This is a miniature dark peanut butter cup that I buy from Trader Joe's for specifically this purpose. And you can either cut it in half, which is what I'm going to do. And when the cookies come out of the oven, you press the peanut butter cup into the hot cookie. Just saying. So these are going to bake for 13 minutes. I'm a big 13-minute bake girl. It works best for me. My cookies come out best that way. You can adjust based on crunchiness versus softness. We are soft cookie people. We're not real big on harder cookies. So these are going to go into what?
Oven's full right now.
The oven is full right now, but it's only got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So when the chocolate chip come out, those are going to go in the oven. And I'm going to chop a little bit of chocolate. I'll show you for the ganache, which is what goes in between the 2 bacis and then the 2 cookies kiss. Get it? Okay. So I need a little bit more chocolate than what I have, not much. And I use a 70 to 85%. It depends on what I can find in Trader Joe's, if you want to be honest.
That's right.
It's a fair trade chocolate. And the lowest I buy is 70 to 72. And usually it's about an 85 that I buy. So I'm chopping this. When you make a ganache or a glaze, it really is better to use chopped chocolate instead of chocolate chips. You can use chocolate chips if that's all you have. But chocolate chips tend to give you a chocolate that sets up really fast and is a little stiffer than you might want it to be. So when the cookies come out of the oven and they start to cool, we're going to make a ganache to fill the bocce's. I'm going to clean my board, and then we're going to do a 180 to the next dish.
3.5.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
By the time I get done talking about tempura. Okay, let me check for questions real quick.
Oh, show the biscotti. Martin?
Yeah. These are what my finished biscotti look like. Okay, let me show you real quick. Like this. This is 3 kinds. I have an almond biscotti, the chocolate walnut, and double chocolate hazelnut, which I made for a dinner party. And these are the little bits left over, which go really well with our coffee before the gym. So anyway, all right, let me catch some questions. Still learning about arrowroot powder. Can I use white flour with the arrowroot powder? It depends on how you're using it. Arrowroot is a combination of a thickener, and it's also a stabilizer. You know, so it's the reason my biscotti get crunchy. I guess it would work with white flour. I would say it's more urgent that you stop using white flour. And if you can find sprouted whole wheat flour, King Arthur doesn't make it. They used to make one. They don't anymore.
There are a couple companies.
There's a couple of companies that make it. My favorite one is Lindley Mills. It's the finest grind. It's not coarse. It works as well texture-wise as white flour and gives me a really light result. So think about that before you stay with white flour. There's another one. Happy I'm watching on replay. Yay, vegan cookies. Yeah. Been following a plant-based 1 week. You're plant-based a week? Jill, go get them, baby. 13 minutes at 350. Yes, thank you. I always forget to say the temperature of the oven. 350. It's 350. No, you cannot replace the flour with arrowroot. It's no.
Not gluten-free.
It's not that kind of flour. They call it arrowroot flour, but it's more like a powder. It doesn't substitute as a flour. If you're looking for a flour that's gluten-free, you have to buy a gluten-free flour mix. Not cake mix, but flour mix. Okay? Of course you are, Jill. Of course you're sleeping better already. I'm so happy. Okay. So now we're doing a 180. Here we go. If you struggle with being cold, if you would like to feel stronger, if you would like more focus and more strength, if you would like life to be better, if you want to stay warm and happy in colder weather, if you want strong quality red blood, basically, right, if you want to feel better, this is the dish for you. It's called,
30 seconds.
Okay. It's called Kimpira. And Kimpira means golden pieces. And it has 2 ingredients plus seasoning. That's it. Can you add other things? You can. But the rocket fuel version of Kimpira is what I'm about to show you. It contains 2 ingredients. One is the root of the thistle plant called burdock. And I know there's a joke in here, but I'm not going to make it. It's Christmas. I'm being good. Burdock is a very hard root. Okay. Oh, cookies are coming out. Okay. Sorry. Hold that thought on Kimpira. Cookie, put it right here, hon. Yay. Yeah. So when they come out of the oven, you can see how puffy they are. Okay. Get the other tray. Then you take a spoon and you flatten them. And you flatten them just in the center. And what you get is like this goopy, wonderful, yummy. Can you leave them puffy? Yeah, absolutely. I usually forget a couple on the tray and end up with a puffy one anyway. But can you do these 5 over here, babe? 13 again. Okay. So this is how they look finished. Do you have a hot pen? This is how they look finished. Look how cute they are. Who would not want, no one would not want to get a bag of a dozen of these for Christmas. Skip them all, make somebody you love some cookies. That's all I'm saying. And they don't have to know they're vegan. They won't know the difference. You don't have to say vegan so they go, oh, no thanks, I'm going to get a root canal. Just say, I made you some cookies for Christmas. No, you're good. Okay. All right. Are we good on the cookies? Any questions? Thank you. Squish. Yep. I know. They're gorgeous. All right. So back to Kimpira. Burdock is a root that grows in the winter. It's harvested in the winter. It's literally dug out of the soil. For 4 feet around it, nothing else grows. All the minerals in the soil are drawn into this pale brown root. This is the skin. Do not peel it. Just run it under water. Wipe it with a cloth if you want. Scrub it, but don't abrade the skin. It's ugly. But this baby is a powerhouse. And it tastes like a potato. It's mild. It doesn't taste weird. The dish I'm going to make is spicy, a touch salty, and oily. And it will nourish you through the winter like nothing you can imagine. Okay, now, thank you. Christine, I make the best chocolate chip cookies. Thank you. All right, let me show you what I did. So I'm doing what's called julienne, or this is Japanese style julienne. Julienne usually is you cut the vegetable so it's square, and then you slice it, and then you cut it into matchsticks. The Japanese, for efficiency, I'm going slow so you can see it, which is brutal for me. Usually I fly through these veggies. You want your vegetables to fall on top of each other. This is really known as the domino cut because they fall, right, like dominoes. And then you hold them down. And now I'm not going to go slow. You got to move. You hold them down and you slide your knife through them to create fine matchstick pieces. The finer, the better. Now, if you can't do this right away, I get it. I'll show you the other way. You're going to slice through, right? I have some done, so I'm going to show you them in a minute. You stack them no more than 3 high on top of each other. Hold them down, slice through, and create the same kind of matchstick pieces. This is a little slower, a little more awkward. Get your knife out, get a carrot and some burdock, and practice your knife skills. You will not regret it. So on this dish, I have equal amounts of carrot and burdock. I am going to saute this with hot spice, lots of oil, lots of soy sauce, and some hot spice. You can skip the hot spice and use ginger, but you are creating a different energy. Right? The goal of burdock and carrot together is they cook over fire, right? And they draw heat and energy deep into the body. The hot spice releases some of that heat so that you have balance. If you add ginger, right? If you've eaten ginger, it goes down warm like a shot of scotch, but it keeps the heat in. If you have burdock and carrot and high heat and ginger, now you're hot. So with the hot spice, you're creating some balance, which is the key. It's always about balance. So I rarely use ginger. I will say that I very often add tempeh or seitan to this dish for some protein and fry them in. You can add, as the weather gets warmer at the end of winter, parsley and lemon juice to make it even lighter. But we're going to make the old school classic Kimpira. And I'll tell you how I learned it. Is it okay to freeze burdock?
It's a root. It lasts a good while. It's a root that's it's not moist, it's dry. So
it should freeze. The other thing I have found, though, it's Jackie. The other thing I have found, Jackie, is I had a piece of burdock in a plastic produce bag, and it stayed in my crisper drawer because I forgot I had it. And the following winter, I used it. It was fine. It does not go south very fast at all, like at all. Okay, so what we're going to do is take some olive oil. I have a skillet here. I am taking, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to come over, but I'll come over and show you. I'm going to take a generous amount of olive oil. I'm going to basically cover the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to say this is a small skillet, 2 tablespoons of oil.
That's about a quarter.
3?
Almost a quarter. Yeah,
No,
about
it's not a
3,
quarter
3
cup. No
tablespoons.
way. It
3.
could be between 2 and 3 tablespoons. The burdock goes right into the oil. Okay, I'm making it the way Michio Kushi taught me to make it. There's 2 ways to make this classic dish, which I will tell you. I'm making it the way, after years of teaching it, he taught me how to make it. So it goes over a high heat, medium high heat, and to it I will add a good sprinkle of chili powder, maybe half a teaspoon, maybe more. And you're going to let the heat build, and then we're going to saute this. So I was teaching up at the Kushi Institute years ago. Micho was my teacher, and he came into the kitchen, and he said, as he always does, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm preparing kimpira for teaching. Tell me how you make." I told him what I did, and he went, "Totally wrong."
It used to be like saute and simmer. It was called saute.
Because the way we were taught, that's right, the way we were taught to make it, you saute the burdock, saute. You let it cook for a minute, and then you add water to cover it, and then you put carrot on top, cover it, let it simmer. It was a saute and a simmer. And I said, "But that's how you taught us." And he said, "Totally wrong. This is how you make it." So I'm like, okay. So he put a ton of oil in the pan. He put the burdock in. He did admire my cutting, I have to say. He said my cutting skills were great. And then he put the burdock in, and he let it come to a simmer.
You got soy sauce just now.
I did add soy sauce. Oh, and then I'm putting a little soy sauce. I use about 1/10 of the soy sauce he used. And it's still salty. So he's adding all this soy sauce. There's all this oil and all this hot spice. And the sizzle started to build, and all I could think was, oh my God, he's going to want me to taste this. He's going to want me to eat this kimpira. That's going to be awful because it's oily, salty, and holy moly spicy. So he sauteed for maybe a minute or 2 on much higher heat than I'm using. And as soon as the burdock started to bend, right? That's the sort of phrase I'll use. As soon as it starts to be shiny with oil, which I'm going to show you right now, see how it's sort of shiny with oil and it's starting to bend just a little bit, right? You can sort of see. Okay. Then he added the carrot. More soy sauce. And he sauteed just until the carrot started to bend. So the whole dish cooked for maybe 5 minutes, maybe. And I'm thinking, good Lord above, this is going to be, I'm going to have to smile and say, thank you so much, Sensei. This is so great. I'm so happy to eat this kimpira that you made for me. So he said in Japan, they eat it oily, salty, hot, spicy, and almost raw. That's how they eat it to get strength. So I'm like, okay, give it a go. So he finishes it. I'm going to show it to you on my board. He finishes it. It looked like this. You could still see a little oil in the pan. There's not a lot of liquid that bleeds out of carrots or burdock, but it is shiny and To me, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. It literally is golden pieces. So then he said, as he always does, try. And I'm thinking, oh man, Lord help me. But I got to tell you, this is like the world's greatest dish. It gets us through the winter. I love this dish. I love this dish. It's crunchy. It's not as salty. It's spicy. It's delicious. So, in about 2 minutes, our cookies will come out. Our second batch of cookies come out. So, I have 2 minutes to answer some questions. Would avocado work for the Kempira? Yeah, absolutely. Burdock I purchased has an almost black skin. Oh, some of it does, but it could also be bad. It's hard to know. There's different varieties. Some of them are really, really dark. So cut it. It should look like a potato inside. It should look white and have little, almost like little crisscross in the center, right? If it doesn't have that, if it's black inside, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And if you cut your burdock and it has like a black ring around the inside toward the edge, that's okay. It's still fine. What do I mean by hot spice? You can use Korean hot spice. I use Italian chili flakes that I grind into a powder. That's what I like. That's the smoothest, for me, that's the smoothest hot spice. It does keep well in the fridge. In fact, this dish is going to go in the fridge and be part of our lunch tomorrow. I will reheat it in the pan, real quick, just to get the cold off it. But it does very well, actually. Yeah. So any other questions? Let's see. Did I miss anything? Thank you. No, we're just waiting on cookies. So let's see. What else can I tell you? I will be here for the holidays. I'm not going to Rome. It's kind of a bummer, but whatever. Since we just got back, we feel like, we should stay home. It's okay. I've decorated my house. It's fine. Hang on. I know it's been great. Thank you. Is burdock easy to find? I want to say yes, Jill. Usually in an Asian market. In an Asian market, you'll find it. Sometimes it's been scrubbed, so it's really clean looking, barely beige at all. So you got to be careful. Hon, where are the hot pads? Hon? Oh, got him. So, never mind. Okay, so now we have our little bocces, right? And we're going to take a peanut butter cup, cut in half, and you're going to press it into the cookie like that. And then you're going to press, well, one cracked, but you're going to repair it and press that into another cookie. And in the cookies that have the well, we will put ganache. Or you could put jam before they go into the oven, and you will have jam filled, right? So if you're going to use jam, you want to put your jam into the cookie before it goes into the oven. You can put it in now. In fact, I'll show you. We'll put it in now so you can see what it looks like. A lot of people bake the jam in, which you can do. It's fine. For me, the jam starts to take on a burnt texture. So I usually take the cookie when it's hot and put the jam in like that. This is a tart cherry preserve. And that goes in like that. Right? And but you see how pretty they are, right? If you bake this with the jam in, it can look burnt. It can actually be burnt. So I tend to not do that. I'm going to quickly, before I let you all go, quickly make a ganache, really quick, show you how to put bocces together, and then I will let you go enjoy your Sunday evening. So to do this,
You need that.
I usually use water. I don't use plant milk, but you can. And I add a little rice syrup. So if you're going to use plant milk, you're going to use about a tablespoon of rice syrup in it. And what that's going to help you do is set the chocolate. And we're going to bring this to a high rolling boil. Okay. As soon as that boils, we're going to pour it over our chocolate, our chopped chocolate, like this. And then that, cleaning my knife. I'm obsessive about cleaning my knife. I'm putting it back when I'm done with it. My knife is my best tool. Okay. So sorry to tune in late. Will your recipes from today be on your web? They're all on the website. Every single one. Oh, tell them I said happy birthday. It's Ron's birthday. Angela and Ron.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Tante Gordy.
Yeah. That could go in the fridge.
A Gordy.
Yeah, everything, every recipe I've done today is already on the website, but you know, you can also, just by following along, you'll get what we're doing, because I think I said the measures.
Okay. At least I saw you do it.
Yeah. And if you watch the video, you'll see me do it. I'm just waiting for our stuff to boil. Anybody? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I know, aren't they pretty? They're the prettiest cookies. Wait till you see the bocces. They're like the best. And bocces are great to make with kids in your life, right? In fact, next Sunday, I am making bocces with and thumbprints with my 3 Italian goddaughters, 9, 6, and 3. But they really want to make bocces. They love them. They love them since they were teeny tiny kids. And I love making them for them and with them. So this is the first time I'm actually making them with them. So it's kind of cool. I'm happy. No, it has to boil. So you want to make sure your liquid comes to a high rolling boil, and then you'll need a whisk or a fork. I do use some proper tools. So I use a whisk. Whatever I can grab, usually I use, but I do use a whisk when I make ganache. And I'm going to pull the screen down again so you can see what I'm doing when I make it. I'm going to put the bowl here. I'm trying to see what I can help you see. There we go. It should be good. Yeah, that's good. So once your liquid boils, you slowly add liquid to almost cover your chocolate. And then you start to whisk. And at first it looks like maybe you made a mistake. And then if you keep whisking, it becomes this shiny, silky, creamy. It should not be too thin at this point. You see the texture here? It's creamy. It's not a runny glaze. This is more thick. Thicker?
Thicker.
Anyway, okay. So then, once you have your ganache, I use an espresso spoon. You take a bocce, you take a cookie, you put a tiny amount of chocolate, and you put them together for the kiss, like that. And then they go back on the tray. We're going to do that again. Oops. Another kiss. The problem with bocce
Can't eat one. The problem
is, you know, you'll make a tray and you'll say, oh, this is 120 cookies at 60 bocce. I'm set. You're set for maybe a day because they're so easy to just pop, right? The bocce that they make in Italy are a little bigger, right? They're not one bite, but these guys, you pop them. They're great. So I hope this was helpful to you tonight. We did, so it was rice syrup and water boiling, Carrie. It was rice syrup and water. You can use rice syrup and soy milk, rice syrup and oat milk, whatever floats your boat. But since I always boil too much liquid, and it's only got a little rice syrup in it. I never feel bad about tossing it. So I don't want to keep throwing all my plant milk down the drain. So I use water. And it doesn't affect the flavor, it seems, at all. So I hope tonight was useful to you. We have beautiful chocolate chip cookies. We have thumbprints. We have bocce. We have tempura. We took both ends of the spectrum to help you enjoy your holidays. And then when the long, cold winter is facing us, we can stay warm. Now, before I let you go, because I know it's been an hour and some, next month we will meet again on January 25th, which is the last Sunday of January. We're going to go back to the last Sunday. And I will be having a guest that night. It's all interview. I'll be interviewing this author, Little Red Barns. His name is Will Potter. He's an investigative journalist who has spent his career uncovering the gaslighting that we suffer from the food industry, the oil industry. I'll just give you one quick little example. He tells the story of BP Oil sitting with their marketing team, trying to come up with a way to take the attention off the damage they do to the environment. And they came up with the phrase carbon footprint so that they could turn around and say, what's your carbon footprint? Like, what's your carbon footprint? Don't worry what we're doing over here. We're good guys. But what are you doing? What's your carbon footprint? What damage are you doing to the planet? And it was just another way, not that humans don't damage the planet, but just another way to take the attention from what they're doing. And he's a very interesting human being. He's a very committed activist. And I love him. And I can't wait for you all to hear him talk. I hope you can make it. In the meantime, have a gorgeous holiday. Have a lovely time with your family and friends. Don't lecture anybody. Don't fight with anybody. Be kind. Be nice. Have a nice new year. 2026 is going to be great. Anything you want to say, my love? Anything you want to add?
Not a thing. Not a thing.
We are going to have a quiet holiday at home. So enjoy your time. Have a lot of fun.
We'll see you in the new year.
Kiss everybody you love. And always, 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 always treasure every moment you have with the people you love best. Have a great holiday. I love you guys. Ciao.
Bye.
Why is it? Oh, because I don't have a touch screen. That's why it's not moving.